Do you have any explanation for why there exists nothing, no piece of paper, nothing suggesting that Mr. Depp ever had a deal with Disney for Pirates 6?
What is this tone? Okay, are you hearing this? There was
She's like
nothing.
Yeah,
Dude,
she's like, I got him now, boys. Watch this gamer move.
Dude, I hate that. I hate that tone.
Yeah.
Do you have any explanation? Like, shut up. Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. We're back again. I got Avery, and we're gonna look at the newest, freshest, juiciest, air-fried clips. All right. This one's called Johnny Depp Trial. Judge rejects Amber Heard's demand for dismissal. Oh boy.
Oh.
Now this is a huge win for Johnny Depp because Judge is basically like, all right, we need to hear them out. All right. The lawyer's a piece of trash, as you'll see in a sec. Keep in mind, this is lawyer Rottenborn. All right.
Arguments. I'm going to focus on what our specific arguments are for the motion to strike, Your Honor. Mr. Chu spent almost 30 minutes of the court's time talking about the disputed evidence of physical abuse in this case, which Ms. Heard hasn't even put on her case.
Okay, so basically what this lawyer is saying is that Amber Heard's case isn't even about Johnny Depp's physical abuse. See, he's saying that it's mental and psychological abuse, all right? So she changed her narrative completely because she previously had bruises on her face, right? Which she covered up with makeup, fake makeup, which was released 2 years ago or something. So, yeah.
I can tell you she's not the abuser, and if the case moves forward, she and her witnesses will put on even more evidence of the physical abuse she suffered at the hands of Mr. Depp. But that's not the basis for our motion right now, Your Honor. He talks about how Mr. Depp had a sworn denial, and that should count. We read his testimony. He claims he didn't strike.
Amber looking at him like,
objection, hearsay.
Amber looking at him like, I will kill you if you don't get this right.
Jesus.
But again, that's not the basis for our motion. The basis for our motion is the clear and undisputed evidence of non-physical abuse. By his definitions, by his standards, by the standards of his expert, there is no dispute that Mr. Depp...
If there's no dispute, there wouldn't be a trial. What do you...
Yes, exactly.
Amber.
We wouldn't need to have this conversation.
If he did it even one time, there's no dispute that even under their theory of the case, the implication that they want the jury to draw from the article, which again, I'm not arguing for the purposes of today, because under the legal standard, I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to waste the court's time with that. But even under their standards, the undisputed evidence is that Mr. Depp did commit abuse against Ms. Heard, and therefore that those first two statements were false.
Damn, that's crazy. Objection, hearsay.
As to the headline, it's funny, Mr. Chu, we played 2 or 3 hours of an ACLU deposition. Now he says, well, that wasn't our witness. It was his witness, Your Honor. He just spent 10 minutes talking about what Mr. Doherty said, and Mr. Doherty testified that the Washington Post wrote the headline. That is the only evidence, Your Honor. I understand he says, well, Exhibit 1 has her name on it. Exhibit 1 has her name on it. But the only evidence in this case about who wrote that headline is Mr. Doherty's testimony. It is undisputed. They could have put anyone else on. They could have called Ms. Heard for that because that was not part of the stipulation at the pretrial conference. It was only the tweet that we talked about, Your Honor, and they chose not to do that. Now, Ms. Heard will testify she didn't write that headline, so it wouldn't have helped them. But they've had 3 weeks to put on their case, Your Honor. They've controlled the playing field of evidence. There is no dispute that Ms. Heard did not write that headline. No dispute. Simply saying, well, her name is attached to it. That can't overcome the testimony.
I sort of got this guy's just like, there's no dispute. There's no dispute. How many times did he say that? Obviously, there's a dispute.
Hearsay. Objection, hearsay.
Actually.
They call them a co-conspirator. Of course, Mr. Depp chose not to sue them. But the testimony of Terrence Doherty that she didn't write that headline, that takes care of the sexual violence headline, Your Honor. And I'm not going to take up any more of the court's time.
Do you realize how hard it is to sue someone for writing an article based on evidence that they received from somebody else?
Yeah.
Like if if Amber Heard went out and wrote a hit or gave Washington Post a bunch of hit pieces on Johnny Depp, and Washington Post wrote articles based on the information that Amber Heard gave them, do you realize how hard it is to sue Washington Post? Because they could just plea that they could basically say, well, with the evidence that we had, we assumed that it was true. And that we were deceived by Amber Heard.
Yeah, that's why they're suing Amber Heard instead.
Exactly.
you know,
you gotta sue the source, not the.
Yeah, JD is suing her for 50 million, and she's countersuing for 100 million.
Huge.
By the way.
I'm addressing portions of Mr. Chu's argument that don't go to our motion, unless Your Honor has any specific questions, but I want to be respectful.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, for this motion, I've taken the arguments of counsel, and last night I reviewed all of the evidence that has been submitted in this matter. So as to the second and third alleged defamatory statements, at the motion to strike at this juncture, I view the evidence in the light most favorable to the plaintiff and reasonable inferences from the evidence to the plaintiff. And if there is a scintilla of evidence that a reasonable juror could weigh, then the matter survives a motion to strike. In this matter, there is evidence in the case that a jury could weigh that the statements were made by the defendant, that the statements were about the plaintiff, that the statement was published, that the statement is false, and the defendant made the statement knowing it to be false, or the defendant made it so recklessly as to amount to a willful disregard for the truth.
Damn, completely
Huge.
and legally home run right there, bro. Jeez.
Thank God.
From the judge's mouth, destroyed. Rottenborn. Damn.
The weight of that evidence is up to the fact finder. So the motion to strike is denied as to statement 2 and 3. The motion to strike as to statement 1, I'm going to take under advisement because if it's not a stipulation, I'm not sure what it is, but there seems to be an agreement that the tweet of Ms. Heard is part of the plaintiff's evidence, which is not in evidence at this point. So I can't rule on that statement whether or not it is just a tweet or if it's some sort of republication or something. I don't know because I haven't seen it yet.
All right, so there's a tweet and evidence as well, but they can't use it because it's not been submitted yet. But basically, judge rejected Amber Heard's demand for dismissal. Jeez, destroyed. All right, video number 2.
But in fact, Mr. Wiggum, it's not true that Mr. Depp ever had a contract with Disney for Pirates 6. Isn't that correct?
Okay, so basically what they're doing is that, oh, he never lost Pirate 6 because there was never a contract for Pirate 6. So let's see.
Can you explain that question or that position?
Have you ever seen a contract
She's talking to him like a baby, dude. Are you
Yep.
kidding me?
that provides for Mr. Depp to play Pirates 6?
To the best of my knowledge, my memory, myself and my partner closed an optional picture deal for the amount of money of what that picture would be for Johnny.
And you would make sure to have that in writing, wouldn't you?
Oh my god.
No.
You know, that would normally go through
He's
legal
such a
counsel
snake.
in terms of the codification of it.
Do you have any explanation for why there exists nothing, no piece of paper, nothing suggesting that Mr. Depp ever had a deal with Disney for Pirates 6?
What is this tone? Okay, are you
Yeah.
hearing this? There was
She's
just
like-
nothing.
Yeah.
Dude.
She's like, I got him now, boys. Watch
Like-
this gamer move.
Dude, I hate that. I hate that tone.
Yeah.
Do you have any explanation? Like, shut up.
Objection, lack of foundation, compound.
Oh, I'll allow it.
So I often close, when I was an agent, we would work on many deals where I actually wouldn't see contracts. They were verbal in nature. And then, you know, especially on optional pictures, just so there was an understanding of what the money would be.
So do you have an explanation why there is not even a piece of paper, not an email,
That
not
was
a
the-
text, not a piece, not a document,
That
nothing
was the
suggests-
explanation.
Oh my god.
He,
So-
he literally said that
It's
that
verbal.
he has never seen a contract,
Yeah.
and that these are verbal in nature to get an idea of what the money is worth. So basically,
Yeah.
they're just generating an interest from Johnny Depp to do another movie, and that interest will then be turned into an actual contract, which he will eventually sign, but not with
Exactly.
this person.
It's like,
It,
and I'm pretty sure at that time it was so obvious. Like, okay, obviously Johnny's gonna play Pirate 6. I mean, it's a well-running series. Obviously, it's gonna go. Nobody knew this would come
Of
out
course.
of nowhere, so they didn't need like a document for it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
That's the
and
Mr. Depp.
like for example, if you commission art, you'd be like, hey, how much does it cost? And like, tell me, like, you know, what do you do? How much does it cost? And they're like, all right, yeah, here's the list, here's like the rundown, so you get an idea. You're not signing the contract to pay them at that point. You're just
Yeah.
saying, I'm generating interest, so I have an idea of what I want to go through. I may go with you, I may go with another actor, I may go with another artist.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I hate this.
I
Depp
swear.
is going
so
to be
annoying.
in Pirates 6 as Jack Sparrow.
Objection, asked and answered.
I don't believe it was.
So overruled, I'll allow it.
I mean, if you're asking me my opinion, it wouldn't necessarily be alarming because that would be a conversation usually to understand. Disney's going to want to know: are we on the same?
Ballpark.
Hey.
Oh, like
page
range
about
of
what
money.
the money's going to be? And
Yeah.
most of that conversation, if I remember correctly, was also with one of Johnny's lawyers at the time.
Objection to hearsay.
Okay, and so you have, so Johnny's lawyer was discussing this, but there's no document. Do you have an explanation for that?
You may know better than me if there is a document, but that was Jake Bloom, at the time, I believe, if memory serves me correct.
All right. But would it be fair to say that you have never seen a document that provides that Mr. Depp was going to be in Pirate 6?
It would be fair to say that it was consistent with a lot of the conversations that I would have on behalf of big stars, where it was verbal and there
He
was
just
an
wants it
understanding
plain
of
and simple,
what
no.
the deal was going to be.
Mr. Wiggum, if you could please answer my
I swear
question.
to God.
Objection, harassment. He did answer the question.
Harassment. Got him.
I love that. Harassment, like Amber Heard.
Judy,
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Judy, can you read that back?
Would it be fair to say that you have never seen a document that provides that Mr. Depp was going to be in Pirate 6?
It would be fair to say that I have not seen a document on pirates. Now, just so you know,
Mr. Wiggum, I don't need you to give me extra. I just want you to answer mine. I just want to know.
Okay,
have
this
you
is I
ever
hate.
seen a
Okay,
document?
this
lawyers,
is something
man.
that I hate about politicians. So they're not politicians, but this is what politicians do. Like they basically
it's
ask it
half-truths.
very open-ended.
Yeah, it's
They ask a
basically
very
half
open-ended-
truths.
yeah.
You tell half
Yes, it's
side
so
the side of
frustrating.
the story, you leave the other half out, and technically it's true, but by
Yes.
leaving the other half outside, you're not telling the full story. And it's
And
like
you're
saying
missing so
it's
much
like saying
information.
this guy punched this other guy, but what you don't know
Yeah.
is the other guy tried to shoot him, right? It's like
Yeah.
sure, he did punch him.
Like, did you or did you not shoot him? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
just
man.
like it's so dumb, bro. Goddamn. Basically, they get to frame their narrative the way they want, and
Yes.
all you have to do is say you're a yes and no answering machine, and they will obviously ask
Yes.
questions which make you look bad.
You
Goddamn.
frame it
To answer the
correctly. Yeah,
question,
they
though, I
just
think
frame
there's-
it.
There's got to be a better system. I swear to God.
In
That's
context, it would-
that's an easy yes or no. Have you seen a document?
It's not an easy yes or no. There's there's context added.
Same thing they asked Johnny Depp was like, "You'd like to be it?" An easy yes or no, but there's so much more.
technically,
That's like saying you don't know that the next episode of
perhaps
SpongeBob is going to have SpongeBob in it or not. You can't prove it.
Bro.
Like, brother,
because it connects
it's
to all the other Pirates films. It's just a modification of a new document. So I have not seen 22.5 million written on a page. You're correct about that.
Okay. Now, you, in fact, had discussions back in 2016 and 2017 with Mr. Bailey, Sean Bailey. You talked about him a little bit ago, right? And you also had discussions with Jerry Bruckheimer in 2016 and 2017, correct?
Yes.
About Mr. Depp potentially being in Pirate 6, correct? And then you had discussions in 2018 with Mr. Bailey, and he was quite non-committal about whether Mr. Depp would be in Pirate 6, correct?
Yes, it's 2018.
All right.
Okay.
This is literally after the allegations. Obviously, there will be non-committal.
yeah.
Given that he was able to.
I'll sustain as the hearsay. It is hearsay. All right.
So you determined.
This is hearsay.
Mr. Wiggum,
Cringe.
that by the fall of 2018,
My guy's named Mr. Wiggum. What
I
are
hate
these
this.
names, bro?
it was very likely that Mr. Depp was not going to be in Pirate 6. Is that correct?
It's a two-pronged answer from my perspective, because there was really two individuals involved in that decision. I would say Jerry Bruckheimer and Sean Bailey. Jerry Bruckheimer, in the fall of 2018, really wanted Johnny in that next film, and Sean was non-committal, as you said.
And Mr. Bruckheimer made it clear to you that Mr. Bailey was the one who gets to decide because he's Disney, right?
Ultimately, and he also wanted to be at the tip of the spear to really try to convince John.
Okay. Now, do you recall?
Thank you.
All having. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, with you.
Okay. Can you pull that up? 44. And Mr. Correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Dude,
Line
how
10.
long has this guy been sitting in court, man? He just wants to go home.
I know.
Feels so
This
bad.
is
for him.
page 44, line 10. The question, do you recall approximately when in 2018 you inferred from your discussion with Mr. Bailey that the likelihood of Mr. Depp being in Pirate 6 was not high or was going away? And your answer at that time was, if memory serves me, the latter part of 2018 maybe. Question, when you say latter, is that any time from August to December, or what are you thinking?
Oh my
Answer,
God, I
would
can't
say
stand this
fall.
woman.
You
Get
know,
me out. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Ms. Heard filed for the TRO.
An opinion that it's not a great headline, for sure.
When you read
Again, just
Transformative moment for women by Amber Heard. Bruh. What a disgusting article. I was exposed to
Yeah.
abuse at a very young age. I knew certain things early on. Like many women, I had been harassed and assaulted, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't see myself as a victim, blah, blah,
It
blah.
says by Amber Heard too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
if you can help me. Is that the paper? Is that the
yes,
article?
yes, that's the Washington Post.
So, what's the question? Sorry.
Does this help refresh your recollection of whether you saw it in print or whether you saw it online?
It did not. And I'll tell you that I did not typically pick up the Washington Post.
Okay, and so while we're sitting, if you
can't
can,
do
just you're saying
This
that
this
2
woman
years
this
ago,
woman is just wah 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 in my ears right now. I can't.
I swear to
I
God.
literally can't keep going. Ugh. All we're getting is that she's just asking the same stupid question over and over again, basically. Was he lined up for Pirates 6? Well, I mean, is SpongeBob going to show up into his next episode tomorrow? We don't know. You can't say for sure, but like we
Yeah.
can make a safe assumption that it is. We're pretty sure he'll be in it.
Or
Like,
unless Amber comes out with something, unless Patrick
Yeah.
comes out with some allegations of SpongeBob, wasn't the best friend ever. All right.